So if we understand our clients, if we understand the motivation, so the why, the reasons behind, if we know what our value proposition is, what are our top features and top benefits for the client, so that that kind of copy and creative will resonate with the potential audience, and in combination, so that good creative in combination with proper tracking, when we signalize back to the advertising platform, those are the clients we want.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Exact Digital Podcast, where we highlight smart marketers doing incredible work behind the scenes of campaigns that move the needle today. I'm joined by Franci, the CEO of Goodish Agency, a boutique digital marketing firm known for its technical depth in analytics, API integration, and performance-focused ad campaigns on Meta and Google. Goodish brings a unique mix of engineering meets marketing, helping clients ensure that their data pipelines, event tracking, and automations are not just working, but bulletproof. In this episode, we'll dive into making Meta and Google work smarter, not harder, the hidden dangers of disconnected tools and automations, scaling campaigns while maintaining tight data control, and where they see marketing going with AI in the mix. Franci, welcome to the show.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm glad to be here, and I hope this will be an insightful episode.
Amazing. Yeah. Can you tell the viewers where you're calling in from?
Oh yeah, I'm from Slovenia, so that's a country in Eastern Europe, next to it, so between Italy, Austria, and Hungary. So yeah, it's the end of my day here and early morning your day, so we have a little bit of time difference.
Perfect. The sun's still up on both of us, so that's good.
Yes.
So you describe Goodish as a technically strong, small agency. How do you think that structure benefits your clients compared to large, more generalized firms?
So we can adjust to the client's wishes. We don't have so if you are bigger, it's harder to adjust because you have some kind of protocols, quality control and stuff, which is so we still have quality control. But if you are like, so we are a small team, 6 people, and if you are just 6 people, the roles are clear, and it's I don't have like 10 teams, and I don't need to look over those teams and making sure that they are doing the same thing and that everything is in place. So we have just experts for different areas like coding or advertising. So whatever we're doing, and we trust each other, and I think that enables us to adjust to what the client actually needs, especially in terms of technology. So we can work with multiple tools, and we know the APIs. We have a lot of pre-done stuff, how to connect different tools together, and this enables us to develop useful solutions.
I'm sure if the team's a certain size to where you actually can fit in one room, at some point it's easier to get some things done in that moment.
Yeah, exactly. So we are working together for a couple of years. We know our characters. We know how each of us will react under the pressure, or when you have to do something quickly. We know how to brainstorm what our working habits are, what our stack, so technological stack is. So that helps, and I think that's our niche. So we don't even desire at the moment to grow in terms of having more people in the team.
Right. So what would you say your sweet spot service is? That one that the clients come for you again and again?
So our typical client would be software as service, and the sweet spot is helping them understand their product, so the product analytics. And we start with the acquisition, so also with the marketing and everything. So from the first touch, and then at the end we are trying to predict the churn rate. So the whole user journey. Usually software as services, they have multiple touching points, so you can um, observe the user, how the users are moving through the sales funnel, and then to the free trial, and then they became the paid client, and probably usually they would add, so usually it's business to business, so they would add more people in the product, and then maybe change a tier, so from the standard to premium. And we are trying to predict all those steps. We are trying to understand the client at each of the steps and trying to advise our client how they should treat their clients, what they should offer, which kind of technique is it working, how they should adjust the software, maybe which features are, what influence the decision to move from free trial to paid, or from basic paid to premium paid. So those kind of stuff.
Amazing. So you mentioned helping clients fix broken workflows and Zapier connections. Why do you think so many businesses assume that their tech stack is working when it's not?
Um, so I think there's a strong movement of like no code stuff, no code products, when you can connect stuff using Zapier is very popular, or different CRMs like Zoho, they have Zoho flows, and those things are great. I think they're enabling a lot, and you can really, it's amazing how many things you can do without even know how to code. But the issue is when something doesn't work, when you have like multiple steps or maybe multiple tools that are automating something, but they don't really, or maybe even the bigger issue is when they work like 80% of time, and it's very hard to understand why they are not working the remaining 20% of the time. So what's preventing them to execute. um, and so when those kind of, and if you lose 20% of the time would potentially mean that you're losing 20% of the customers, or that your loyalty program doesn't work on 20%, or your notification system, that's a large number, large gains. um, and when you try to dig in and to understand why those tools are not working, where is the issue, usually there are like some error codes which are quite plain or not useful, and you're not even allowed to dig in and to fix with those automation tools, because people are using different tech stack, different websites, different programs, and something goes wrong. And so basically that's where we came in. Usually that's the moment when people are trying to when people are contacting us, and we then redo the automation on our servers or their servers, and we documented it's better documentation, and also we can monitor it actually on each step, so on each action. And if something goes wrong, we are quickly notified. We can alert also the client. We can fix it so it's more manageable. So I would say when you scale and things are getting complicated, that's when you don't want to rely. I don't want to say that those tools are unreliable, but in some combinations they are. So
Yeah.
it's when you have to connect 1,000 things, sometimes you fail.
I can see where if it's already like a blanketed approach where they already have it systemized, and you come from a space that is building code from the ground up, so when something goes wrong where it is. Whereas with things like that, it's already set up and it's difficult to go in and break it apart and realize, okay, here's where it's messing up.
Yeah, and you are also limited because they're predefined. You have like 5 options, or it just says you can see that, for example, on step 1 the lead was captured, and then it was not sent somewhere, or it was sent somewhere, and the emails went out but the SMS did not went out, although the trigger was sent, and you are not, and that's the end. You are not able to dig in more deeply. You
Mm.
don't actually have access usually with those tools to understand what was preventing them, or you just get some error, and it's not useful. You cannot help with what you get. So you cannot act. You cannot fix it. That's I would say when business go from like servicing 100 clients into servicing thousands clients, that's when things are getting super complicated because it's not that it's like it's 10x harder. It's not 1x harder.
Yeah. See, when you're assessing a new client's system, what are the first red flags that you typically see in their setup, other than the fact that it's not properly working?
Poor documentation. That's the number one predictor because I see, like, when you're a startup, it's like being in the jungle or something. You pretty much don't know what you're doing or where you're going. You're just trying a bunch of different things, and then at certain point you start growing super fast, and you need to fix something from today to tomorrow. And the documentation is usually the easiest part to just left out. But when people are leaving you and you're adding new people, and at certain point nobody knows how, it's like a black box. Nobody knows how it's working or who did the setup, or when you start asking questions, okay, who's responsible for this and that, it's always like, yeah, we did this, but just partly somebody else. And people are not owning stuff. That's how you know that's probably when you start digging in, and especially when people are from different teams, from different countries, and sometimes even that happens. So sometimes the code is not commented in English, or or it's comments are super poor. It's then very hard to figure out what's going on and how to fix stuff.
Oh, that sounds complicated. So I'm glad you exist so that you can fix that for people.
Usually we can, or we have to do it from again. So
Amazing.
that's yeah.
So you shared some really tactical meta strategies around broad targeting, structured event signals, and testing creatives. Can you walk us through your typical optimization workflow?
Yeah. So as mentioned at the beginning, we are like so our roots are in analytics. So, and that's also how we came into the advertising space. And usually the first thing we do or help the client is with sending signals to the advertising networks. Like Meta is one of the advertising networks. So if you have a software, or for example, if you have a software, you want to signalize back to Meta when a free trial starts, and also when you get a paid client, because then you can create those lookalike audiences, or it helps with the targeting. So that was the beginning. And recently we noticed that classical targeting, like target by interest or age group and so on, is more and more limited, and also it's not working. And our assumption is that's due to the AI. And so the recommendation here is to target via proper tracking and via creatives. So if we understand our clients, if we understand the motivation, so the why, the reasons behind, if we know what our value proposition is, what are our top features and top benefits for the client, so that that kind of copy and creative will resonate with the potential audience. And in combination, so that good creative in combination with proper tracking, when we signalize back to the advertising platform, those are the clients we want, those are the free trials. And also with the campaign setup, so are we after the free trials, are we after leads, email signups, so everything. So Meta basically, and Google is similar, and other networks basically learns, so the AI is able to learn from those signals. And that's why it's super important to do the tracking properly to signalize back to the advertising platform, and to really focus on the creative.
Absolutely. So you're saying that right now you've really focused on, instead of just being like, hey, I know you're interested in this, so we're going to wave our hand and come over here. It's more of like we need to collect the data of who have been our clients in the past, who's visited our website. So creating that audience rather than looking for the audience.
Yes, signalize. So you have to signalize back to Meta in real time.
Right.
So you
Exactly.
start, you can go with the campaign and start like really broadly. Maybe, if you have, let's say, typically a blog post or a short video or something to show to the cold audience. And then based on how people are interacting with the video or the blog, so the website in this case, uh, Meta will know or understand because of the target you set up. So like, I don't know, 60 seconds visit duration or something. So Meta will understand what kind of people you are after, and then it's how you build the funnel. So if you know your users, if you know what motivates them, how to educate them, how to speak to them, how to address their benefits, which are the important features of your product or software, you can incorporate this into the funnel. Uh, and so based on their interaction and their actions, for example, maybe they would read a blog, then they would watch a video, later they would start a free trial. And when you know that they are product qualified, so that they understand the value of the product, they would purchase the product. Um, and you signalize this back to Google, to Meta, and the algorithm understands what kind of people you are searching.
Exactly. It's all about testing and learning and retargeting and trying not to think of it as a surface level process, because people have to be, touched multiple times in different ways depending on the kind of person that they are and what they've interacted with so far. So it's really important to diversify what you're doing rather than just saying, hey, I have this ad and I'm just going to place it and it's going to bring me clients or leads, and then getting frustrated when it doesn't happen. There has to be a little bit of structure and strategy to it if you're starting out, and then a lot of structure and strategy if you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I like the dating comparison. You don't go on a date and you don't propose to your future wife in the first date.
Right. Exactly. Because then they'd be a little concerned of why you want to propose to me this early.
She's just not ready uh,
Yes.
for this. She doesn't trust you. She doesn't know you. So it takes a time. So for like $100, maybe for $50 or $60 or maybe up to $100 product, you can do it on like on a first visit with one ad and a good landing page. But with the software or maybe more expensive products, it will take maybe a week, 14 days, 1 month, and not everyone has the same road to the conversion or to the purchase. But uh, so I think like three categories. So the most important category is user motivation, or maybe to put it more simple, to answer the why question. So why would someone purchase you or take a product from you? So what's their motivation? How you can help to make their life better? So that's, I would say, out of 10 creatives, at least four creatives or five, and in the early stage should directly answer user motivation. So this is how user will relate with you. This is how you show them that you understand them and that you know what they are looking for. Then the second, let's say, two or three creatives, they should be the value proposition. So to answer the question what you are offering as clear as possible. And the last 2 out of 10 should answer the user questions and maybe obstacles or doubts. So, everyone, there are always second thoughts for every product, and you have to answer them. For example, we are overseas agency, and if we just pretend to US clients that, we are not overseas, or that if we ignore this, that's not okay for us. It's way better that we have an answer for their doubts. So I usually say to people, look, we will have a meeting at the end of the day, and the next morning everything will be done, because your night is my day. So you will be able to move way faster. And that's an argument. So because they don't know us, it's hard to sue us. So there are big reasons why not to hire us. So you have to offer to address this, and to have to offer your advantage.
Right.
So, and I think what people are usually doing, or the clients that we help, or we help them not to do, is they just answering the second, so the what question. We are offering this, and we are the best. And then they have a bunch of tricks, trying with urgency, scarcity, social proof, and they are just speaking what, instead of answering why, and also answering on the doubts and obstacles, and those maybe
It's
less
better to
pleasant
just,
things.
put it out all in the forefront and just address the situation and the problems that we know already might exist in their mind. Because if then it gets to a point where they mention that, or like in their mind, they're thinking, oh, well, I shouldn't do this because X, Y, and Z. And then they get the ad that's answering that question. And they're like, well, now I don't have anything else that's holding me back because they already answered that
Yeah.
question.
Objection killer.